A big hello to all of you. Welcome to Supergrads. My name is Brenda and I'm the subject matter expert English. Today in this session, we would do a detailed analysis of the verbal ability section of IP Math Indoor 2019. There are 40 MCQ based questions in this set, and these are a combination of reading comprehension passage, vocabulary, and grammar. So let's get started. The first question, which is a reading comprehension passage, is on your screen, and the detail to this is given in the link in the description below. So you can download the link and start the paper. Now, before we begin, let me give you the gist of the passage. The writer makes a hypothesis that few shipwrecked men are cast ashore on an uninhabited island. Now, there, all the men are given work according to their capacity, and if any of them acts secretively or tends to stay aloof, the others will naturally look at him with suspicion. The writer then states that whatever the work might be, there would be difficulties about it. But if the people involved are open, frank, and transparent, the work would be a smooth sail. Now let's look at the first question. When a dozen men are cast away on on an imaginary island, the best educated would look for metals in rocks because metals can be used to make weapons. Such an island probably has unexploited resources. He may find it beneath him to dig or cut or make shoes. He is suited for such work. Now, students, the answers have to come from the passage. Now, if you look at this line, according to his capacity. See, the work was given according to the capacity of each man. That means option D, that he's suited for such work, is the most appropriate answer choice. The other way to look at it is, see, metals can be used to make weapons. This might be our general knowledge. It's not stated in the paragraph. So you will eliminate it. Such an island probably has unexploited resources. Well, the paragraph doesn't state anything about the unexploited resources. He may find it beneath him to dig or cut or make shoes. Well, the work was given according to the capacity. That makes option D the most appropriate answer choice. The author states that any appearance of secrecy or separateness would instantly and justly be looked upon with suspicion. From this statement, we may infer that. Now, to answer a question like this, you need to understand the meaning of the question first. The author states that any appearance of secrecy or separateness. Now, this means that if any of these men act secretively or tend to stay aloof, the others would be doubtful or suspicious of him. Now, let's see which answer choice matches best with this statement. What is secret is not what is separate. Secrecy is not exactly the same as separateness. It's natural to be suspicious of secrecy. It only takes an instant for a relationship to deteriorate. Well, the obvious answer choice is option C. Moving on to the next one. The instance of the shoemaker who refuses to show his source and asks for more corn and potatoes is an example of a strong bargain, a system of barter, unfair practice, the intent to make trouble. Well, a strong bargain and system of barter will be eliminated because, according to these, equal amount of commodity is exchanged. Looking at option D and option B, it would be unfair practice because if you look at this line, if the shoemaker refused to show them where the bark grew, which he made the sandals of, they would naturally think, and in all probability, rightly think, that he didn't want them to see how much there was of it, and that he meant to ask for more corn and potatoes in exchange for the sandals than the trouble of making them dessert. So that means this clearly shows that he intended, they thought that he would ask for more. So this means it was an unfair practice that he would get into. That's what makes option B a better answer choice. Moving on to the next one. According to the author, whatever one's work might be, hardships are going to be a part of it. One cannot keep complaining. One should expect others to assure of help and advance our labors. One must offer help to others in order to receive help. Now, again, students, the answer has to come from the passage. We cannot assume the answer. It cannot be based on our general knowledge. If you look at this section, the highlighted section of the test, And thus, although each man would have a portion of time to himself, he had undertaken for common benefit. Any secrecy on his part would be immediately supposed to mean mischief and would require to be accounted for or put an end to. This all the more because whatever the work might be, there certainly would be difficulties about it. So, this is what the author means to say that whatever work they might get into or one might get into, there would be difficulties or hardships about it. So, option A is the closest answer choice. The next one, the author's belief is that for progress to happen, a team should consist of people with multiple talents. Cooperation among team members is essential. One must deal with those who are secretive. Transparency among all is concerned mandatory. Now, option D is the most appropriate answer choice because this is what the writer has been emphasizing throughout the paragraph, throughout the passage. He does not talk about people with multiple talents because he clearly said the work was given according to capacity. He did not talk about people with talent. Cooperation among team members is essential. Well, that's not the central idea. One must deal with those who are secretive. He did not talk about dealing with the people who were secretive. The only thing that he was concerned about was that people have to be open, frank, and transparent in their dealings. Question says the writer makes a hypothesis which can be related to communities in general, an ideal world of talented people, an imaginary island rich with resources, a primitive and unsophisticated island. Well, the writer did not talk about talented people. He did not talk about an island rich with resources, and he did not say the island was primitive or unsophisticated. He simply talked about some people working in sync with each other and overcoming the hardships. So indirectly, he was talking about communities in general. Moving on to the second reading comprehension passage. The first line or the opening line of the paragraph states that the perennial debate over gender differences threatens to remain inconclusive. The writer then goes on stating that the gender bias is deeply rooted in our society. Then she goes on saying that the conclusive findings of a British professor of cognitive neuroimaging states that no brain differences can be found that are solely gender related. And then in the last paragraph, the writer urges the reader to dump the myths and look at ourselves afresh. Now let's look at the questions. Moving on to the second passage of the same set, let me give you the gist or the summary first. The opening line of the passage states that the perennial or the everlasting debate over gender difference still remains inconclusive, and this gender difference is deeply rooted in our society. The writer states that according to the conclusive findings of a British professor of cognitive neuroimaging, no brain differences have been found that are solely gender related. The writer then urges the reader to dump these myths and look at ourselves afresh. Now let's look at the questions. The question says the research of a British professor of cognitive neuroimaging has succeeded in establishing. Well, this one looks like a direct question. Let's look at the answer choices. The brains of men and women are alike. Science needs to challenge the status quo. Society must break away from attempts at stereotyping gender issues. The potential of human brain is not directly linked to the gender. Now, like I said, this looks like a direct answer to a direct question. Well, if you look at this line of the second paragraph, her conclusive findings establish that no brain difference can be found that are solely gender related. So option D is the right answer. But still, if you look at option B, science needs to challenge the status quo is also mentioned in the passage. It's right here. Science should challenge the status quo. But if you go by the question, what does the question demand? That it has succeeded in establishing. What has it succeeded in establishing? To that question, only D option is the right answer. Moving on to the next one. By referring to the world as gendered, the writer wants to convey that gender differences can be detected right from childhood. Society continues to be fixated on gender stereotypes. One's gender is bound to determine one's abilities. The debate on gender differences will never be resolved. Well, the writer certainly doesn't say that these differences can be detected from childhood, or these will never be resolved, or these are bound to determine the abilities of a person. On the contrary, she's saying exactly the opposite of these things. So, by the word gendered, here mentioned, as mentioned in this first paragraph, the writer wants to say that the society still continues to be fixated on gender stereotypes. Moving on to the next one. One of the genders in adopting a binary view of human brain is that it can promote the notion of feminine and masculine traits, determine as well as limit academic choices, lead to the distortion and misinterpretation of scientific data, be used to encourage male dominance and superiority. Now, see, binary view means two sides. That is, binary will always be comprised of two numbers, 0 and 1. So, if we are talking about the binary view, we are looking at two sides. And if we are talking about the binary view here in this context, we are talking about both male and female traits. Now, that makes option A the most appropriate answer choice. See, one of the dangers in adopting a binary view of human brain is that it can promote the notion of masculine and feminine traits. We can easily eliminate the other answer choices, determine as well as limit academic choices. The writer doesn't talk about academic choices here. Lead to the distortion and misinterpretation of scientific data, again, can be eliminated. Be used to encourage male dominance and superiority. Well, this could have been a possible answer because that is what the first paragraph aims to talk about. But if we are talking about a binary view, this is only one side of the story. So that makes option A the most appropriate answer choice. The next one. The writer of this passage wants to emphasize the need to use new insights provided by scientific research for better understanding of human abilities, continuously debate issues over gender differences to achieve human progress, question the findings of scientific inquiry into the functioning of the human brain, accept gender differences as essential to the survival of human species. Now, see, the writer wants to emphasize the fact that she wants to use the new insights provided by the scientific research for better understanding of human abilities. We will be very easily able to eliminate the other answer choices. I'll show you how. Continuously debate issues of gender differences to achieve human progress. Well, if you carefully read the data, the passage, the human progress or the achievement of human progress has not been discussed anywhere in the passage. Question the findings of scientific inquiry into the functioning of the human brain. See, they are talking about the two sides, the gender difference and the brain difference based on that. They are not talking about the functioning of human brain. Accept gender differences as essential to the survival of human species. Well, this is out of context completely. So, option A is the only right answer. Now, the next one. The synonym for stranglehold. Now, stranglehold simply means that somebody is not able to breathe. So, here the word affixation literally means there is absence of oxygen and you're not able to breathe, so can be eliminated. Prohibiting entry and containment. Prohibiting entry is banning someone from entering a place, so it is not even close to stranglehold. Confinement is enclosed space. Somebody is enclosed, confined to a certain place, so out of context. Overwhelming control would mean that you're enforcing yourself on someone, you're imposing yourself on someone, and you're thus trying to stifle him. So that in that context, D is the most appropriate answer choice. Antonym for unbound. Now, unbound is no boundaries, limitless. So, the opposite to unbound would only be restricted out of the given choices. All right, moving on to the next section of the test. The question states complete the following sentences by choosing the most appropriate phrase from the options given below. Now, these questions are based strictly, essentially, on vocabulary. So, it's a good strategy to have a strong hold on vocabulary. If at all you have a doubt, you can eliminate the wrong answer choices and then see if you can get your answer right. So, let's look at the first part now. Although he's recovering from his illness, he has to follow certain diet restrictions. He cannot eat junk food. Please don't pity him. And now the question says, do not pity him and do not do something. The statement should restrict the next course of action. Now let's look at the answer choices. Give him some snack, cut him some slack, be slack with his eating, cut down his snacks. Now, the most appropriate answer choice would be cut him some slack, which means allow someone some leeway in their conduct. That means we are restricting the next course of action. Moving on to the next part. The problems may be difficult, but all you have to do is dash as long as you can. Now, don't you think the sentence intends the person to stay there and be hopeful, right? So let's look at the answer choices. Hang in up there, hang on to that, hang in there. Now, the answer would be hang in there, which simply means it's a phrasal verb, which means stay persistent and determined in difficult circumstances. Here in this context, it will say don't lose hope. So, but all you have to do is don't lose hope and stay there as long as you can. So that makes option D the most appropriate answer choice. Moving on to the next one. The standards set by examination board are so high that it would be difficult for poorly prepared students. Well, what would happen if a student hasn't prepared well? Well, it would be difficult for poorly prepared students to pass muster, which simply means to meet the required standard. So, if a student is poorly prepared, he would not be able to meet the required standard. So, that makes option D the right answer choice. After all the alliances and arithmetic, the party is likely to a dash majority in assembly election. Now, there have been a lot of alliances. People have been put together. A lot of calculation has been done. The party is likely to dash majority in the assembly election. Let's see. The answer would be scrape together. That means it would be difficult to put or keep these people that have been brought together with great difficulty together. So, after all the alliances and arithmetic, the party is likely to scrape together majority in the assembly election. I'll have to dash because I don't know how Sheila's parents are going to react to this offer. Well, if you don't know, would you count them on your fingers? Would you face the music? Would you break their eyes? Or would you play it by the ear, which means proceed instinctively? So when you meet someone new, you improvise, you do what your instincts tell you to do. So that's what makes D the most appropriate answer choice. And the last part of the same question, if you had been more alert, this golden opportunity would not have. See, something has gone wrong. That is why the speaker is saying you had to be more alert, otherwise, this would not have happened. So, something has gone wrong. Escaped your fingers, slipped off, escaped away, or slipped through your fingers, which means we lose something because we did not make enough or we did not put enough effort. So let's see how it fits in the sentence. If you had been more alert, the golden opportunity would not have slipped through your fingers. All right, so the next question. The question says in each of the following sentences, the incorrect part of the sentence is underlined. Choose an alternative from the four given options so that the sentence is rendered correct. Now, see, there is a problem, there is a grammatical error in the given sentence, and we need to identify the error and find the most appropriate option that can be used to substitute that faulty part. So, let's look at the first sentence. The place where her father disappeared and the reason why he did are unknown to her. Now, the problem in this sentence is here reason and why. This why is superfluous here. It was not required. Reason itself means why he was missing. So this why is not required in this sentence. So let's see what could be the possible answer. See, let's look at sentence A. Her father disappeared and the reason why he did. It's technically they've written the same thing back. Same is the case with D. So we can easily eliminate option A and option D. Now, out of B and C, her father disappeared and the reason he did is grammatically incorrect. Now we are left with option B, where her father disappeared and the reason he did. See, they've removed why from this part of the sentence, rendering it the most appropriate answer choice. Moving on to the next one. Which team has the best record, yours or theirs? Now, if we are talking about which team is better out of two, you don't need the superlative form of adjective, you simply need the comparative form. So let's look at the answer choices. Which of the teams has the best record? Well, it's completely out of context. Which one of the teams has the best record? Again, can be eliminated. Which one team has the better record? Well, we don't need this one here. We'll eliminate this. Which team has the better record? Yours or their? Most appropriate answer. The next one. After sensing a problem with the factory workers, the personnel officer demanded to know who the union leader had contacted to conduct the petition drive. Now, the problem here lies with the word who. This should have been whom. Let's look at the answer choices. Well, option A is the most appropriate answer choice. Let's look at it. See, after sensing a problem with the factory workers, the personnel officer demanded to know whom the union leaders had contacted. And let's look at the other answer choices as well. Who had the union leaders had contacted? See, this is grammatically incorrect. Whom the union leaders have contacted. Now, if the entire base sentence is in past form, you certainly don't need a present form anywhere in the sentence. So this is also grammatically correct, incorrect. Union leaders contacted. Well, this is wrong because you need either a who or a whom. You needed some a pronoun here to give the sentence a proper order. So we definitely have the right answer choice as option A. Now, the next one. His wrongdoing was completely exposed, but not once he apologized for his actions. Now, let's look at the answer choices. Well, the problem lies here. If a part of your sentence or the beginning of your sentence is with a negative part, has a negative phrase in it, we generally it is succeeded by a helping verb. Now, let's look at the answer choices. Not once did he apologize. See, the base sentence, his wrongdoing was completely exposed, is in simple past form. So here, not once, because this part of the sentence begins with not, you needed a helping verb here, which is did, past tense. So not once did he apologize is the most appropriate answer choice. Let's look at the other choices as well. Never he made an apology. This is grammatically incorrect. Not once did he give apology. Well, we don't give apologies, we just apologize. Not once he made an apology. Again, because not once the did is missing here, this is also grammatically incorrect. So we won't be needing it. The next one. Municipal council can no longer wash its hands of its responsibilities. Now, when we look at municipal corporation, we think of a large group of people having many members. So the problem is here, it's and its. The answer choices say wash its hand from its responsibilities. Again, the problem isn't rectified. Wash their hands of their responsibilities is the most appropriate answer choice. And the last part of the same question, the letter states that no one can avail the services offered by the company till June 2019. Let's look at the choices. Well, the letter states that no one can avail the services on offer by the company till June 20th, 2019 is the right answer. But let's look at the other choices as well. Avail of in option C and option D are grammatically incorrect, so you can eliminate them right away. Avail the service on offer from the company is not right. You need to avail the offer by the doer of the action. So option B is the only appropriate answer choice. So the next section, each paragraph given below has a sentence missing, which is indicated by a blank. From the choices given below each paragraph, choose a sentence that seems most logically appropriate to complete the paragraph. So to cut this short, you simply need to complete the paragraph that's in front of you. Now, a good strategy to look at such questions is notice where the blank is. If it's at the beginning of the paragraph, the end, or the middle. Well, if it's the beginning of the paragraph, which has a blank, you need to find something that can work as a passage opener. If it's towards the end of the paragraph, you need to find something which is very conclusive in nature. And if it's in the middle, it should be in sync with the part that precedes and succeeds this blank. So, keeping these in mind, try and get your answer. Now, let's look at the first one. Dash infrastructure in the form of paved services disrupts water absorption and lowers water retention. This leads to disastrous levels of flooding, which diminishes the biodiversity and impoverishes the people of the region. Land should be used mindfully to prevent waterlogging during heavy rains. So, this talks about water flooding and how it can be prevented. Now let's look at the answer choices. Climate change is not the only cause for flooding. Flooding can happen after heavy or low rainfall. Infrastructure can actually cause a lot of trouble during flooding. Water retention is less important to prevent flooding. And if you notice carefully, option D is more towards a conclusive side. It cannot work as a passage opener. So we'll eliminate B, D. Infrastructure can actually cause a lot of trouble during flooding. Now, look at the second sentence of the paragraph, which introduces infrastructure as a new idea, beginning with infrastructure, the word infrastructure. So, if we put sentence C as the passage opener, it would not, the second sentence would not begin with infrastructure, it would use a pronoun relating to infrastructure. So, keeping this in mind, we can eliminate C. Flooding can happen after heavy or low rainfall. Well, imagine, can flooding happen after low rainfall? We can eliminate this very easily. We are left with the first one. Climate change is not the only cause for flooding. Well, it goes perfectly with the tone of the passage. Let's keep it. The next one. Few look forward to old age and all that it brings in its wake: deteriorating health, loss of vigor, restricted mobility, increasing dependence on others, not to mention a sense of foreboding and anxiety. Yet, one has to learn to cope with the onset of old age. Firstly, it is imperative to prepare to accept old age in spite of the restrictions or limitations it imposes on one's mobility. Equally important is the need, well, this is to adopt a positive attitude towards life, and then there's a blank in the middle. Above all, peace of mind is the efficacious balm that brings equanimity to one's life. One, we must resign ourselves to growing old, and in process, let us try to make life as fulfilling, as meaningful as possible. Now, if the blank is in the middle of the paragraph, we need something that can bridge the previous and the next thought. So let's look at the answer choices. The role of humor and fun are indispensable as these are the spice of life and guaranteed to bring cheer and bonhomie. Besides keeping one's mind off life's grim realities. Well, it looks a very good answer choice. Let's put this on hold and look at the other choices. Owing to advances in medical science, we can now expect to live well beyond 90 years. Well, this is out of context completely because this is not what the paragraph is about. We can easily eliminate this. Physical debility and stiffening body joints, creaking in protest, may make mobility difficult, something one should learn to take in its stride stoically. Now, see, this one is a very negative thought in itself. And if you look at the tone of the passage, though the writer is talking about accepting old age, still the approach is really positive. So, on the basis of that, we can eliminate this answer choice. The next one and the last one, turning nostalgic and recalling those good old days when they were young and life was radically different from what it is today. Help accept old age. Now, this one, if you look at it, is not a very positive thought if you talk about it. So that leaves us with option A. Let's see if it fits perfectly in the given blank. So the first half of the blank talks about coping with the onset of the old age, and the second half talks about peace of mind, which is an efficacious balm, and it's a very positive sentence. See, equally important is the need to accept a positive attitude towards life, which is a very positive statement. The role of humor and fun are indispensable as these are the spice of life and guaranteed to bring cheer and bonhomie, besides keeping one's mind off life's grim realities. Now, see, this one is going in sync, is in sync with the previous and the next statement of the paragraph. So, option A is the most appropriate. answer choice. Now, the last part of the same question. The Arab Spring is widely believed to have stemmed from dissatisfaction with the rule of local governments, though some have speculated that wide gaps in income levels may have a hand as well. Issues such as political corruption, human rights violations, unemployment, and educated but dissatisfied youth may have been responsible as well. And there is a blank. So, this here we need something which is very conclusive. Let's look at the answer choices. Thus, youth unrest is the main reason for the Arab Spring. Well, the way the sentence has been constructed, it looks very tempting. The sentence itself looks tempting, and one feels like putting this or picking it up as an answer choice. But let's look at the other choices as well. Some also cite the 2009-10 Iranian election protest as one of the reasons behind the Arab Spring. The Arab Spring was due to the wide gap between the haves and the have-nots. To sum up, Arab Spring was a series of anti-government protests, uprisings, armed rebellions across the Arab world. Well, again, this one looks very tempting because of the way the sentence has been constructed to sum up. So whatever has been said, you're summing that up. But let's be a little careful while choosing the answer choice here. Does see if you're summing something up, that means you're kind of repeating what you've already said. So, does the paragraph that you read earlier talk about anti government protests or did it talk about armed rebellions? No, it didn't. So, though this looks tempting, it is a wrong answer choice. We should eliminate it. The Arab Spring was due to the wide gap between the haves and the haves not. See, the wide gap in income level may have had a hand, but this line says that this was the only reason for that. But that wasn't. There were several other reasons that have been cited in the passage. So we can eliminate this. Some also cite 2009-10 Iranian election protest as one of the reasons behind the Arab Spring. See, this can be a possible answer choice given the fact that look at the tone and the construction of the passage. Arab Spring is widely believed to have stemmed from the dissatisfaction, though some have speculated that wide gaps in incomes may have been the reasons. The issues such have may have been responsible. So this one uh, is one of the reasons behind the Arab Springs is going in sync with the previous thoughts and is another example of the same thing. Let's look at the first one. Thus, youth unrest was the main reason for the Arab Spring. Well, youth was dissatisfied. I mean, maybe there was youth unrest as well. But was that the main reason? No, it certainly wasn't, given the tone and the uh, concept, the points that the writer has cited in the question. So that means we can easily eliminate A, C, and D, leaving B as the most appropriate answer choice. Now let's look at question number 28 to 32. The sentences below have words that are missing. Choose the best option from those given below to complete the sentence. So a good strategy is to have a good command on the vocabulary, or you could eliminate the wrong answer choices and then get your answer right. Now let's look at the questions. One who is dash gets on with his job in spite of obstacles, while the one who is dash hardly shows any progress. Now, if you look at these two sentences closely, the first blank is talking about somebody who's a little positive, whereas the second sentence talks about somebody who's not so positive. The latter, that is the second person, spends all his time dash about his troubles. Now let's look at the answer options. Now, can we speak or gossip about our troubles? No, we can't. We complain about our troubles. We cry about our troubles. So you can easily eliminate option A and option C. Now let's look at option B and option D. One who is assiduous, that is somebody who shows great care or perseverance, gets on with his job in spite of obstacles, while the one who is querulous, that is somebody who's always complaining, hardly shows any progress. The latter, that is the person who's querulous, spends all his time whining about his troubles. Whining means, again, kind of complaining about his troubles. So that makes option B a very good answer choice. Let's look at option D also. Somebody who's hot headed, that is somebody who's impulsive, gets on with his job. Can somebody who's hot-headed get on with his job, or somebody who's hot-headed will get into troubles easily? So option D can also be eliminated. We are only left with one answer choice, which is the most appropriate answer choice. The next part, the dash of multiculturalism in times of war or economic dash. Tribalism is what causes those in power to confine groups of people with different dash into ghettos or in communes on the margins of their cities. Now, if you're talking about times of war, see, we're talking about times of war. Now, let's see the answer choices. Now, can there be growth or prosperity in the times of war? No, they cannot be. So you can easily eliminate option B and option C. Now, the rise of multiculturalism in the times of war, is that possible? Can we have any kind of growth in the time of war? No, we can't. We can eliminate option A also. Now let's look at option D. The opposite of multiculturalism in times of war or economic distress. Tribalism is what causes those in power to confine the groups of people into different ethnicities, that is, people who have the same ideologies, into ghettos, that is, kind of slums, or in communes on the margins of their cities. So we have a clear answer, which is option D. The next part, that the artist went about systematically to get traditional dash and designs back into mainstream and dash a textile culture for dance to be celebrated. Let's look at the options. Now, can we process, process or describe a textile culture for dance? Can we do that? No, we can't. We'll eliminate these two answer choices. We are left with B and C. Now, the artist went about systematically to get the traditional. Now, motif is a design with a pattern, and totem is something that has spiritual significance. Now, let's see which one suits better. So, the artist went about systematically to get traditional motif, that is a design with a pattern, or something that has spiritual significance and designs. Well, I think it has to be B, but let's see the second blank as well. Back into the mainstream and created a textile culture for dance to be celebrated. Doesn't that look right? The next one. In response to my friend's request, I decided to write her a letter, which I hoped would be honest and practical, while also serving as a dash of sorts of my own feminist thinking. This book is a dash of that letter with some details changed. Something has changed. Now let's look at the answer choices. Now let's see. Précis is the gist of something. So a book cannot be a précis of a letter. It has to be the other way around. We can eliminate option D. Fallout is something that fallout is the result of an adverse situation. So a book cannot be a fallout of that letter. You can eliminate this. Now let's see. Option A and option B. This book is a form of that letter with some details changed, or a version of that letter with some details changed. Now, version simply means a different form of the same thing. So that makes option A, that is version, a better choice compared to option B, which is form. Let's see if the first two match perfectly. In response to my friend's request, I decided to write her a letter which I hoped would be honest, practical, while also serving as a map of sorts for my own feminist thinking. This book is a version of that letter with some details changed. So we have a clear cut answer, which is option A. Now, the last question of the same set. Quantum physics really begins to point to this discovery. It says that you cannot have a universe without mind dash into it, and that the mind is actually dash, the very thing that is being dash. Now, can you intrude the universe without, I mean, can your mind intrude the universe, or can it penetrate? Intrusion is entering without permission, and penetration is entering with force. Now, can a mind enter the universe with intrusion or force? No, it can't. So that means that we can easily eliminate option B and option D. Now we are left with option A and option C. Now the last word, acknowledge and perceive. Now let's understand. So, quantum physics really begins to point this discovery. It says that you cannot have a universe without the mind, let's say, entering into it, and that the mind is actually shaping the very thing that is being perceived. Now, perceived means being understood, and acknowledged is the state of being aware. So, do we perceive, do we understand the universe, or do we accept the universe? Well, it has to be C. Now we come to a section based on word usage. Now, a good strategy to deal with questions like these is to have a good control or good command on your vocabulary. Now, let's look at the next question. The emperor ordered the arrest of his most vocal critique. There are very few film critiques left in our city. Mahatma Gandhi's critique of the West remains relevant to this day. His classmates warned him it's not a good idea to critique our principle. So the words that getting repeated is critique. Now the word critique means a person, it's a noun, who expresses unfavorable opinion of something or someone, whereas critique ending in QUE means to assess or evaluate something. Now that makes option A, B, and C error free. Now let's look at option C. Mahatma Gandhi's critique of the West remains relevant to this day. The word that we needed here was critique, ending in QUE. That means the assessment. So Mahatma Gandhi's assessment of the West remains relevant to this day. The next one. The river teemed with salmon and trout. The wedding was themed in Bhojpuri style. Which team will win this year's IPL tournament? The film star wore a purple suit teamed with a crimson tie. Now let's understand the meaning of team here. Now, team with a double E in the middle means full of, whereas TEAM team is either a group of people or it simply means a pair. Now, if you look at it this way, sentence A, C, and D are error free. Now, let's look at sentence number B. The wedding was teamed in Bhojpuri style. Well, it cannot be teamed as in paired, or we cannot have group of players in a wedding, right? So that's where the error lies. That's the incorrect usage of the word. Next sentence. Last week we learned about the right way to greet our customers. Get it right the first time is an often heard management slogan. In India, driving on the right side of the road is wrong. The right of afternoon tea is described in many Enid Blyton books. Now let's see. The word that's getting repeated is the word right. It's WRITE, RITE, and RIGHT. Now to write simply means to put a mark, a symbol, or a word on some surface. RITE right is a ceremony, and RIGHT right is either the direction or the state of being correct. So sentence A, C, and D are error free. Now let's look at sentence number B. Get it right. We needed RIGHT right, that is the state of being correct, the first time, is an old, often heard management slogan. The attackers decided to raise the castle to the ground. They raised their children to be free thinking boys and girls. To raise a toast to a newly-wed couple is a common practice. The rays of the sun rose above the mountain. Now, the word that's getting repeated, raise, raise, and the word that we needed was R-A-Z-E, raise. Now, see, raise simply means nurturing someone, growing someone. Rays, as in the rays of the sun, the light, the beam of the sun. Now, sentence B, C, and D are error free. Now, let's look at sentence number A. The attackers decided to raise the castle to the ground. Well, we needed the word raise, R-A-Z-E, raise. That means to destroy something completely. So the attackers decided to raise, R-A-Z-E, raise the castle to the ground. That means they decided to destroy the building completely. And the last question in this group, Shakespeare is often sometimes referred to as a bard. He barred his soul to the preacher. Because of his age, he was barred from entering the theater. The bar barred all the bards. Now, the word barred is getting repeated. BARRED, barred, means to block someone, to prohibit someone from entering a place. BARD, bard, is a poet who recites his own poems. And the word that we needed in sentence number B is BARED, bared, which means uncovering, disclosing something. So sentence A, C, and D are error free. Looking at sentence number B. He bared his soul to the preacher. That means he disclosed everything that was within to the preacher. Now, the last question of the test based on Parajumble. So, the sentences are given, they have to be properly sequenced, and you're supposed to make a coherent, a logical paragraph. And if you notice, the options are missing, so you need to key in the right order of the sentences. So, let's begin. He just harvested the wild grains. The hunter gatherer went from place to place in search of food. As the crops began to give better yields, this reduced his need to go in search of animals and wild plants. This was followed by an attempt to grow food by scattering the spare grains. Now, we always steer clear of anything, of any sentence that begins with this, that, these, those pronouns or conjunctions because they cannot be introductory statements, right? So we are left with option B. Now let's see how this will work. So the hunter gatherer went from place to place in search of food. Now let this be your sentence number one. Now your the next sentence could either be sentence A or sentence D. Let's see. He just harvested the wild grains. We are talking about the hunter gatherer here. So it's a good statement that can actually succeed sentence number one, which is option B. Or this was followed by an attempt to grow fruit by scattering the spare grains because this talks about the practice of movement, of moving from one place to the other in search of food. Now let's ascertain which out of these two is a better choice, right? So the hunter-gatherer went from place to place in search of food. He just harvested the wild grains. Does this make sense? We're just saying that he went from place to place and then suddenly we're saying he harvested wild grains. It doesn't set. These two sentences are not in sync. Now let's look at option D. This was followed by an attempt to grow food. Now see how beautifully these two sentences are in sync. First, they're saying that he went from place to place in search of food. This was followed. This search of food was followed by an attempt to grow food. So this becomes your sentence number two. Now he just harvested. See, started making an attempt to grow fruit and then he harvested the wild grains. That becomes your sentence number three. As the crops began to give better yield, see, he started growing, he started harvesting, and he's getting the yield. So, as the crops began to give better yield, this reduces his need to go in search of animals and wild plants. This becomes your sentence number four. How easy was that? Now, moving on to the next one. People here are one injury away from starvation, one misspoken word away from detainment or death. Soon, however, cannot be sentence starters. She notices again. Life in rural Kashmiri village seems idyllic to Shalini at first. Moreover, cannot be a sentence opener. Now let's look at the order. See, life in rural Kashmiri village seems idyllic to Shalini at first. We know who's the subject of the sentence, so this could be your sentence number one. And as it is, we have seen sentence A, B, and D could not have been your introductory sentences. Now let's see what would go after this, what would take this thought forward. Now, however, she notices. So the first statement says that life in rural Kashmiri village seems idyllic to Shalini. So Shalini is there in one rural Kashmiri village and she felt that it was a good place to be. However, soon she notices. So this is your sentence number two. Lack of access to basic medical care. So, first statement was positive. The second statement, beginning with, however, took a U turn and she realized that things were not as pretty or as beautiful as they seemed initially. So, then, see, sentence number three would be this one. People here. Now they're just elaborating sentence number two for further that what all was missing. So there was lack of basic medical care, and people here are an injury away from starvation, once misspoken word away from death or detainment. Moreover, see, it's continuing the thought. The ever present political disruptions mean that life in Kashmir is far from a Shangri La utopia. That's how you get your right order. Now, the last part, the study published in the Lancet recently revealed that people living in democratic countries live longer than those who don't. They also have less of a chance of dying from heart disease, strokes, and even road accidents. Incredible as it may sound, we are now told that democracy is not just good for soul, it's good for the body too. Looks like a good sentence opener. Moreover, this sentence, see how it begins with the study. So if they've written the study, that means they have referred to study before in some other sentence. So this cannot be a sentence opener. Without the pressure from voters or foreign agencies, dictators have less incentive to finance. The study cannot be sentence opener. A study. It could be a good start. Now let's see. Now, incredible as it may sound, we are now told that democracy is not just good for soul, it's also good for body. This will be a good sentence start because it introduces a thought to us that democracy is not only good for soul, it's good for our body too. So that's your sentence number one. Now, a study. We are talking about the study for the first time in the entire paragraph. So this has to be sentence number two, which takes the idea further. A study spanning 170 countries found a strong correlation between health and most progressive form of government. So we are talking about government and we are talking about health. The study published in Lancet recently, now they are exemplifying the same thing, revealed that people living in democratic countries live longer than those who don't. So this will become sentence number three. Without the pressure from voters or foreign agencies, dictators have less incentive to finance more expensive prevention or treatment of heart diseases, cancer, and other chronic illness. Well, this will have to be sentence number four because it further talks about the studies and this exemplifies the same. So this becomes your sentence number five.